Welcome to AP Computer Science Principles Unit 10, Lesson 7. Before we start in with Lesson 7, I want to do a quick recap of Lesson 6 because those were our security risks. Now, one of the security risks that you all did not create a public service announcement for was rogue access point. It's a security risk that you may have heard about, and how it works can get pretty complicated. And there's a couple of different scenarios that are all considered rogue access. But it's enough to know that a rogue access point is a wireless access point that gives unauthorized access to secure networks. This can be a physical device that is attached to a router. Sometimes it's hidden from sight. It can be detected in various ways, including looking for strange wireless signals. Last class, in Unit 6, we learned about phishing, which was a technique that attempts to trick a user into providing personal information. That personal information can then be used to access sensitive online resources such as bank accounts and emails. Keylogging. Keylogging is the use of a program to record every keystroke made by a computer user in order to gain fraudulent access to passwords and other confidential information. Malware is software intended to damage a computing system or to take control over its operation. A rogue access point is a wireless access point that gives unauthorized access to a secure network. These were the security issues we looked at last time. Now, in Lesson 7, you will be able to confidently explain security risks and their impact on society, and to describe the role the human error played in Equifax breach. Now, as I just said, yesterday, last class, last lesson, however it stacks up, we investigated a few security risks. We're going to watch a video together to review some of those security risks when we're in class together. For those of you participating asynchronously, please look in Canvas or in code.org and look for the Internet, Cybersecurity, and Crime. And please take a moment to pause this video and go watch that video. You're back. Fantastic. When we think about security, we often think about mistakes that we personally have made by clicking on a link in a text message from someone we don't know. But what about companies? Security is a major concern for companies, and sometimes human errors can have massive consequences. Today in this lesson, we're going to look at the Credit Reporting Bureau, Equifax. Pronounce it how you like. In 2017, Equifax was hacked, and the private information of around 145 million people was compromised. But what is Equifax, and what data exactly was stolen? Well, we're going to listen to two segments of two different podcasts. In the first, we will hear the history of the credit bureaus leading up to Equifax. In the second, we will hear how Equifax was hacked. Now, if you are watching this video asynchronously, I will have out there episode 798. What you want to do is you want to click on that and listen to it. Stop listening to it at 13:30, 13 minutes and 30 seconds in. You will have heard everything that you need. These podcasts are close to 45 minutes or maybe an hour long. You don't need to listen to all of it. The information we're looking at is from the beginning to the 13:30 mark. And I would play it here, but again, a recording doesn't show up in Smartboard, just my voice, okay? So go out and look at episode 798, and I'll have it as podcast 1. Now, the next one is the Breach podcast. This is going to be season 2, episode 3, Equifax data breach. What went wrong? What is Equifax, and what information are they storing? Again, for this particular video, we only need just under 5 minutes. So again, you can't listen to it here because I can't play it over the smart recording, but go to Canvas and click on it. When you click on it, it comes up as an MP3. Move it over so that you start at about 6:05, 6 minutes and 5 seconds into the recording, into the podcast, and then you can stop it at 11:13. Okay? So start at 6:05, stop it at 11:13. Now, once you've listened to that, you should be able to say, what information does Equifax store? And why should you care? Why should I care? Who cares what they store? Who cares what they do? You should. Equifax stores information on everyone who has a credit score, which is pretty much anybody who's an adult. This information includes private data like Social Security numbers and whether or not you pay your bills on time. This information is often used when consumers want to make purchases and determines whether or not they are eligible and how high interest rates will be for loans. This can affect your family's ability to buy a house or a car or anything else that you may want to borrow money for. And you say, well, I don't have credit score. You're right. And if you have no credit score, your interest rates will be very high. You may need a co-signer, somebody who has some kind of credit history. So having no credit score is not necessarily a good thing. And as soon as you live on your own and you have an electric bill, a gas bill, rent, those are all things that would then start getting reported to Equifax. Okay? Whether or not you're paying your bills. The second thing you want to think about, as a computing innovation, what are the benefits of Equifax? And what are the potential harms? Benefits. Companies are able to use data to make decisions when deciding who to lend money to or how much a person can be trusted to pay back on a loan. With this system, we can purchase large items on loan like cars or houses, which would be out of reach for many people if you had to pay outright, cash down. Harms? Decisions are not always fair or equitable. In addition, sometimes information is incorrect and difficult to get changed. A lot of trust is put in a small number of companies who are making a profit making these decisions. Okay, so if somebody hacks your credit score, or if something is reported erroneously on you, let's say your Social Security number, your ID number is 1 or 2 off from somebody who's not got a very good credit score, and they accidentally put it with your file or attach it to your ID, that's a problem. And there's a lot of hassle to go in and get it changed and corrected. And that can prevent you from even being able to get a loan, never mind getting a low interest loan. What are the security risks? Well, data that Equifax stores can be hacked and distributed for malicious purposes. With the personal information that Equifax stores, hackers can commit identity theft, they can make purchases, they could drain your bank account and ruin your financial history. Basically, they could ruin you with the information that Equifax stores. So think about this. What rules or regulations would you recommend be put in place to control how data is collected and shared? What role, if any, should the government play in this regulation? And this is not a right answer or a wrong answer. This is think about it. Okay? And the government itself is not necessarily always the perfect answer. So you got to think about rules, regulations. As a citizen, you have the power to bring about change. As more and more private information is knowingly or unknowingly collected and security risks continue to be a factor, it is important to think about protecting what's ours and speaking to those who are in authority to strengthen those protections. And someday, you yourself may be the person making these decisions and putting new laws in place. Okay? At this time, in Canvas, there is an exit ticket for Unit 10, Lesson 7. please go to Unit 10, Lesson 7, and click on the exit ticket to complete that activity. Once you've done that, you've completed this lesson.